Hello, and welcome everyone to another episode of Spooked Coast to Coast. We have Joy and Joey. Hey guys,
Hey, how are you?
sick banner is always in the background. Like it.
Thank you, thank you.
And we have Jen and Mondo. Hi everyone.
You seem very unprepared, apparently.
No, I was about to choke my own spit. Sorry about that, guys.
My God.
So we have a guest today. Wow, we're so uncoordinated.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so our next guest, you know her as Paranormal Paradigma on Instagram. I don't know. She will tell us we have YouTube. I have her links in the description box, her link tree. So name is Deborah Roque or Roque? Roque. Give me a thumbs up for
I think it's Roque.
Roque.
Roque, all right.
And she's a creator of Paranormal Paradigma. She helps people when they feel like they don't say people have paranormal experiences and they kind of like doubt themselves. So she helps people work through those experiences with them, if maybe they really did have a paranormal experience or not. And also, we've talked before, and she does have abilities. We'll get into that. I'm not sure if it's medium, but we also do tarot, and her gifts helps with others and what they experience. So we just say, yeah, right. We'll start with that. We'll get into that. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Deborah. Welcome to the show.
This is a familiar face to everybody. Everybody should know this face.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
How are you?
Hey.
Good, and you all?
Good.
It's interesting because, like, I usually see like Jen. Occasionally, I'll see like Joy, but I've never really seen Mondo or Joy. So it's like, oh, nice.
I'm a ghost.
They are the faces of
the accounts
of each of the accounts.
Yeah, I know.
It was awesome.
How it is. It's us women working hard, you know.
All day.
I know.
All day. Everybody, I want to say thank you for being on the chat. Sorry for being late, guys. And hi to everybody. Everybody's on here. Yvette, Limestone, Jesse. Hi, Jesse. Thank you.
Hello, guys.
Whitney, long time no see.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy from Whitney's house. You know that? I was going to ask you. Whitney, tell me if you're sleepy in the chat. Okay. And
For those of you that don't know, we paid a visit to our good friend Whit from a couple episodes back, and just to check out her block, if you will. So everything good, guys. It was fun, and we got to do it again sometime soon. Whit.
Yes, and now I'm tired. So, Deborah, tell us everything from because you had experiences. I remember we talked before, and you had experiences as a child, right? Am I correct on that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell us how you started with the paranormal, and maybe what was like the big, like what happened.
So basically,
I want to know, does your daughter? You have a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Does your daughter also like tell us if she experienced anything too?
She has, yeah. I will definitely. She's sensitive. So let me give you a little bit of my origin story, I guess. Well, so my first paranormal experience, at least the one that I can remember and had the biggest impact on me, was when I was in 4th grade. I was in 4th grade, and my mom had, by the way, I was, madam, no, not here. Bye-bye. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, but I can't play right now. I'm in the meeting. Can you do it later?
No.
Okay, but can you do it later? Because it's really loud. Is that okay?
James.
They can hear you.
Not gonna lie, I thought Joy had blown her nose, and I was looking down. At the
No, she gave me.
I was looking down at the time, and I was like,
God, can you imagine? I'm over here.
So I looked up. I was like, "What's happening?"
I'll play with you later. Thank you.
James.
Sorry about that. So so back to the thing. So that you guys know, I was born and raised in Miami. My parents are Cuban. Like I like 305 till I die. So I was actually I lived right by Miami-Dade College North campus and on 27th. Right. So I lived off of 27th and 103rd. And so I was not asleep at that time. My mom had the very Hispanic 𝗚𝗂𝗪𝗘 tendency to hang the clothes out to dry at night. So she did that. She was doing that. And my dad was sleeping. My sister was younger than me. So she was like about 4 years old when this happened. She was sleeping. So whatever. My mom is hanging clothes outside and she screams out my name. Like she went like full like Hispanic, like Deborah! Like it was just like harrowing at that point. And I run outside to see like what is going on. And my mom points to the sky and she's like, what is that? What is that? And, like I remember her grabbing me and like hunching down to like my level and being like, what is that? And I was like, Mom, it's a plane, like whatever. And she goes, no, it's not a plane. It's not a plane. It's going too slow to be a plane. And I said, okay. So I keep looking at this thing, and I it sinks in that's not a plane. So I'm like, oh. And she's like, you see. And then we run through the house to the front, and that's when we go out to the front and we see it clearly. Like this thing is clear as day. It's just hovering over I don't even know, a few blocks down, maybe like a few blocks down, but definitely I can see it. I couldn't see everything, like all the details, because all the details that I really saw were lights. It was just really, really beautiful flashing lights. Excuse me.
I love her.
Hold on. Oh, what? Hold on. Sorry. No, my computer is freaking out. Hold on.
Oh no. Okay. Well, hold on.
No, my computer like went black and then came back on. Black and then came back on.
No.
As you're talking about
that to me too.
Oh, can you guys
Okay,
see?
You're we only see you like frozen.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna leave
Joy,
and
you
come right back.
Am I frozen?
Okay.
You both frozen.
Oh my god.
Thank you, babe.
That happens to our computer all the time. Like I'll get like
White screen
completely.
Mhm.
And then, but you guys don't see it. But in my eyes, I'm like, I like.
Yeah,
freak.
we try not to freak out.
I eternally freak out, and I'm like, as long as like I'm not trying to pull anything up, people's stuff up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I can continue
Yeah,
and then I hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see the lights, and it's like beautiful colored lights. You don't hear anything. Hey, see the lights. You don't hear anything. And I was at the moment, I was really like, wow, like excited, completely enthralled by this thing. And then it sort of sunk in that maybe they were here to abduct us because I'm a child and I've seen movies. So I freak out and I run inside the house and I like sit like my knees tucked into my chest in the corner where my refrigerator was in like a wall. And I just start shaking and shattering. I had never shaken before, like from my own memory. And my mom, I hear her come back inside and she's like, I'm going to record this. I'm going to get the camcorder. But of course, this is the 90s. So like the camcorder that goes on your shoulder.
The big,
yeah, it's that one. She didn't know how to freaking like really do anything with it. So she was like fumbling with it. And so it must have been probably within like maybe 5 minutes she was in there. Maybe 10, I don't know what is time. And I know that she went back outside to record this thing and it was gone. And so it was intense because I think my biggest memory and like what happened afterwards was just as impactful to me because I went to school the next day because it was a school day. I went to school the next day and I told my friends about like what I had seen, and people didn't believe me. They said, well, maybe we'll believe you because you had your mom with you. And that really like struck a chord with me even as a child because I was like, why would I lie about a UFO. Like, what? How am I going to benefit from that? Am I going to get famous all of a sudden? Like, that didn't like, it not register in my head. So I just stopped telling people like stuff because I was just like, nobody's going to believe me anyway. And then I think that also instilled doubt in me also as I grew up and stuff, because I realized that my dad didn't believe us. My dad said that we thought we saw a plane or something. Other people said that it was probably the government doing whatever the government does. And then, we kind of just forgot about it. But I do know that ever since then, I don't know if that's the term, but like I've been followed by these things in the air for my whole life, basically. Oh. So yeah, no, my whole life, like even still till today, like it happens. So it's been a lot of like UFO sightings. So I probably have lost count at this point. That was probably like the biggest thing. Had a bunch of UFOs and I like we have a thing. We have like a connection, I guess.
Is it the same? Does it look the same every time, or is it different?
No, it's different.
Really?
It's different. One time it was one time I got obsessed looking out like for a while after the encounter happened. I was obsessed, and I would look out in the sky almost every night before I went to bed. And there were times that I would see things. Like one of the ones that really impacted me that afterwards was lights. I saw a yellow, like it was like a white light come down and like hover for a little bit, and it would leave, and then it would be replaced by a blue light or a red light. At first it was, I don't know how the order was, but it was like a red light came down, hovered, and then left, and a blue light came down and hovered and left. And so it was like that for a while. I saw one time I was in my backyard and I just happened to look up and I saw this purple sort of spacecraft. It kind of looked like, in my head, it sort of looked like a comb jelly. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with comb jellies from the ocean, that they're these like they're gelatinous, and then they have these rows of lights like bioluminescence.
Like a jelly, like a jellyfish,
jelly, kind of like a jellyfish
almost, but it's like a lot smaller. But like it was that. It almost looked like that, just more bubbly. God, there
was a jellyfish UFO. You remember that?
A jellyfish?
You remember that? No. Yeah, you remember that? That wasn't even that long ago.
Oh, the one that got viral? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It was like this blob, this mass. Yeah. I saw, but it didn't look like that. But yeah, these things, like, they come in many shapes and forms. Mine wasn't like that.
For real.
Are you close to like any military bases?
Huh?
Are you close to any military bases? Like testing sites? Like...
So at that time, the only thing we were close to, that my dad, I think this is probably why my dad said what he said, was an Army Reserve. But that's the Army Reserve. We understand it's not like the testing place or like some big like government building or anything like that. It was an Army Reserve, and it was a very small Army Reserve. I think it was associated with the school, so with Miami-Dade. Yeah. So that was like the only thing that I knew. And then of course there was 𝗵𝗂𝗪𝗃 Airport, like right behind us, like behind that. Right. So that's the only other thing. So that was that. And then like, again, throughout my life, so I've seen things in Miami. There was one Friday the 13th. I will never forget that Friday the 13th, because it was Friday the 13th. And yeah, because I was outside with my sister and a friend, a neighborhood friend. And we had, like, it didn't matter where we looked in the sky at that whole night. There was objects in the sky at all times. And we just stayed outside like, oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. And we like, just the whole sky was just filled with things like at all points. And obviously some of them were planes, and we can tell, but some of them weren't. And we were just like, okay. Like I was like, that was weird.
Miami got some.
Yeah. And then I've had a few things. I've had like a UFO follow me. One time my husband, we were driving down Alligator Alley and going to visit from some family in Naples. And I fell asleep, which is weird because I almost never fall asleep in car rides because I'm just anxious.
Yeah.
And
Me
just
too.
like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but that night I happened to fall asleep. I guess I must have been just exhausted. And he told me later, not right after, it had been some time later. He told me, he was like, I was followed by a white light for a good chunk of time. And I was just like, huh. He's like, yeah, I don't know what that was. And apparently he was alone and he was just followed by this craft or something that just showed a light on him. And all he saw was lights, like white light.
Wow.
And then the craziest one to happen to me was not too long ago, last year, actually. I'm approaching about a year now since it happened. Was when I just moved into this apartment here. So right now I'm in Gainesville, Florida. I had moved into this apartment, like it's going 2 years actually. Yeah, so it's going 2 years now. And yeah, 2 years now. And when I first moved in, I would see a light outside of my window. And I was just like, well, that's odd, because it was late at night. And it was coming from the top. It wasn't coming from like the road. And I'm going to show you my window for a second. So this is the window, said window. You see this awning on the top. So there's an awning there, that shadow. There's a fence in the back. It's not very focused, but okay, maybe.
It was almost there.
So like a wooden fence, a palm fence?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a wooden fence. There's like, that's the deck. Okay, behind that wooden fence, there's about a 3-foot drop. So because the it slopes down. So what I found odd was that this light was shining through the top, as if like something's shining from the sky. Because typically when cars come in, you can see how the lights kind of go through the middle, but not through the top, right? Because it's well, anyway, point is, I had seen that for a couple of nights. And I kind of didn't pay attention to it, but I did tell my husband about it. And I was just like, well, this is weird. And he was like, yeah. Not too long after that, I stopped seeing the lights, but I start hearing a hum sound, like a humming drone sound in the middle of the night. And I would be the only one that would hear it. My husband was sleeping and I was just like, well, that's weird too. And it was very like melodic hum, like a hum. And I was like, oh, that's odd, because we're next to an Aldi and I hear the trucks come in the middle of the night to do their offloading all the time. This wasn't a truck. So I was just like, okay, well, that's weird. And like something in me knew that this was probably paranormal. And so I didn't even try to check it out. Like I never went to the window and was like, oh, let me see what that was. Like part of me was like, you kind of know what it is. So I was just like, I'm just not going to deal with it. So it was like out of mind. Well, one night I wake up and in the corner of that window, there's like the closet. And right at that closet, I see two beings. They're about the size, like they're about 4 feet high. And one of them is standing and the other one is sitting on the floor with his knees tucked in, looking at me. And that weirded me out because like that was how I sat all those years ago.
When you were a kid, yeah. When you,
it was exactly like that. And then their heads, what I found interesting was like their heads weren't like the typical long kind of point, like regular. They were a lot more wider. There was a lot more width to the head. Their eyes were huge also and black. And they had like because there was light shining through, I assume it was their craft. They had like a glisten and like a reddish, orangey brownish tone to their skin. And I just remember looking at them for a few seconds and just being like, okay, well, I'm going to go to sleep now. And that's all I did. Like, I didn't freak out. I didn't do anything. I just looked at them for a few seconds and I was just like, right.
You're
I'm
like in shock.
yeah. I went back to bed. And for a while, I think I fought with the idea that I must have been lucid dreaming or something. But the more I think about it and the more like the details of it remembering that I was in my room, how I woke up. I mean, like, it just felt, I was like, I don't think this was lucid dreaming. Like, I think that this was real. Right. And so that happened. And that was probably the biggest one for me, just because I had an encounter, I guess, of the third kind, which a lot of people don't tend to have.
Do you think, like, have you ever stopped to try to talk and see if they like hover? Like, if you stood there, do they kind of hover, or do they just go like show you they're there and then just?
So I haven't done that. Like, I haven't tried to like telepathically communicate with them while they're outside. Mm-hmm. But hey, I did do a C5 meditation. So it's a Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind meditation. Mm-hmm. And that worked. And my husband saw it. It worked. Yeah, it worked. My husband saw it. I was specific in my meditation. I was like, it's gonna be at this time at 9 p.m. I wanted, because I was like, I need proof that this is real. Like, I need, as an experiencer, I need to know that this isn't just coincidence, and like, this isn't an anomaly. You understand? So I was like, this is real. Like, if I'm actually meditating, you can hear me, and you're gonna show up because I meditated. Right. And I need I want you to come at this time, and I want my husband to see you. And that's how it did, and that's what happened. So what ended up happening was, I remember my husband came home one night. He was taking English classes at Santa Fe. And he came home from an English course, and he was like talking on the phone with a friend of ours, and it was 8:45 p.m. and I was like, we're not going inside. And I was like, wait. And I'm here. I'm outside waiting outside with him. He's like still talking on the phone, and he's kind of like, what? And I'm just like, wait, hold on, just wait. And he had just hung, or like, no, he was still on the phone when it happened. Yeah. He was like trying to get off the phone. I think they were trying to end the conversation. And I look at the time, and it's 9 o'clock, and I don't see anything. And I'm like, okay, wait a few minutes. Maybe you're late. You understand? And at exactly 9:01, in the south part of the sky, I look up, and there's a red something, like a red light that's blinking. And it blinks. And it blinks a couple of times, and then it blinks out. And I go, oh my God. Oh my God. And I go, Leo, because my husband's name is Leo. I'm like, Leo. And I go, look at the sky. And he's looking at the sky, and he sees it blink in again. Mm-hmm. And then it blinks out. And he's like, whoa, what was that? And I was like, okay, hold on. And then it blinks in again. And then it blinks out again. And then at that time, that was it. And he was like, what the hell was that? And I was like, ha! I was like,
you're like, see?
I was like, it worked. I was like, it was 9:01. And he thought, the thing is that there was a plane coming from the north. So I guess it just blinked out in time. And then, that's it. But that to me was very impressive, because it came at the day and the time that I asked it to come. And I made sure that my husband was there to see it. And he saw it. So I was like, okay. Like, at this point, like, I really don't need any more proof that these things exist and they're intelligent, and we do have a connection to them.
So does your husband believe? Is your husband like 100% believer after that? Or
I mean, he was a believer before it too, but I think with me, he's been much love to take. With me, he I think he's experienced a few more things than we've ever bargained for.
That's good. Yeah, we've never seen a UFO. We think we see stuff, but then it just ends up being like, what is that? SpaceX or
SpaceX.
Yeah, or
like Elon Musk launching a missile. I mean,
I want to see. I do want to see. Like, we've never seen apparition. We've never seen UFO.
Oh no.
No, I'm like, damn, what the fuck?
So many things. Yeah. And then really weird things too. Yeah, like,
I'm hopeful. I'm still hopeful.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things that I've learned about this life when it comes to the paranormal is that you first of all, you have to believe it, right? Like obviously you have to believe it. Second of all, you have to want to see it. And third of all, you have to ask for it. Like you got to ask for it. And, you know, that's how some of these things can help manifest. But, you know, there's also a lot of other factors too, because, you know, it all depends on like your own energy and like your limiting beliefs. And so there's a lot of factors that come in. Once you see a UFO, you can't see it.
Yeah. We see stuff like out of the corner of our eyes when we're not thinking about it, but I want to see it on camera. Like I want to capture it so I know it wasn't just my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, like he's seen stuff, but it's not captured, and it's like, is it in my head or is it? Because I am a skeptic as well as, you know, a believer.
Yeah.
So, and I think until I have that solid proof, I'm kind of like,
And I think that's
that's
super healthy.
Yeah, I can't wait to the day that I'm like, yeah.
I think it happens when you least expect it. At least that's
Maybe that's why we see
stuff. They're like, I want to see it, and they will never see shit.
Right. Yeah,
so.
Right.
So maybe that's what happens when we're. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, what she said is like, once if you don't want to see it and if you're afraid, because a lot of people are afraid of the paranormal, right? Like we've been like since birth almost. A lot of us like we're either part of like some sort of Christian faith or Catholic faith for the majority, right? Especially Latinos. And so what ends up happening is that we've been told that not to mess with that stuff, you know, don't mess with what you don't understand, which has truth to it. Right. But there's also this other part where like because we're so scared of what we might go around and find out with, you know, we're also limiting ourselves to what we can experience and our own like growth and spirituality, because it's all tied together.
I think a lot of skeptics that are like no about the paranormal, they're a little afraid to find out. I think they don't want to admit it. Not everybody, but some.
Do I feel a warmth when I see it? No. Well, I guess I do feel, I wouldn't say like actual like warm in my body, but I do feel like hey, like, oh, you're there. Like it's almost like, what's up? Like I don't feel scared. It's almost like a warm welcome, maybe like that, but I don't feel anything in my body. Right. I'm not scared of them now. I used to be a little bit weirded out, like, oh, okay, well, that's weird. But I think as I've grown into, you know, myself and I've come to understand the paranormal and like understand more about like the spirit realm and like aliens and all that, I think I've come to understand that like a lot of this stuff isn't here to harm us.
Right.
So, you know how so have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Yes.
I did.
Okay. And so you know how some people say that they think that's alien related?
They do think so. I never heard that. It can be alien related. It can be related to spirits. It can be related to different things. It could be related to like your own soul. So there's different factors when it comes to sleep paralysis, and why it's happening to you is specific to you and unique to you. You understand? So it could be aliens, it could be, you know, demons or dark entities. It could be in your own soul, like traveling, you know, and there's being like a shock or like, you know, something interrupted. It can be various factors. So I don't think sleep paralysis is just caused by one thing.
Yeah, I experienced once, and it was the most scariest shit that I've ever experienced in my whole life.
Yes, I know. I've been there. It was really scary.
It only happened once, and that was enough.
Dreaming sounds like a nightmare, David. I don't know what the fuck sleep paralysis you talking about. To me, that's not dreaming.
That is not sleep paralysis. Yeah, I mean, you know, I just think there's a lot of underlying factors. Maybe dreams are part of it. Yeah. So again, there's so much unknown to the paranormal. There's a lot of things that we're just not going to understand. And that's okay. It's terrifying. It is. It is.
Now that's
I think-
a water
I think
bottle, Deborah.
That's like that's like my black one. It's a 64 ounce, right?
What? I thought mine was like awkward.
Maybe it is. I think it is a 64 ounce in the
Is that how
mason
big
Yeah.
yours is?
My
Then?
black one is exactly the same.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I
and
think it
hope-
does depend on the person. Like maybe
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, I know it does. Like at this point, like I know it depends on the person. So for me, I don't know what it was, but I know that I woke up and I felt like it was like a fog, like a gray something over me, and I felt like I couldn't move, and then I couldn't speak. I remember trying to scream for my sister. This is common. Tried to scream for my sister. She was awake. I heard her awake. I heard everything, but I could not scream out to her. And then this was around 4:00 in the morning one night. And then I heard something move from the right of my room to the left of my room. And I was just like, and then finally I was released. And then that's when like I screamed for my sister, and then like, you know, whatever. And it never happened again.
Did you feel like you couldn't breathe? I felt like I couldn't breathe.
It felt like something like pressure on me. Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's because I couldn't move, but it was just. It was so scary. It was so scary.
It was. It is terrifying, and I'm just so grateful that I've never happened to me again. Do you guys know Shane from Inquiries of Our Reality? Shane Jones. Well, Shane has an amazing podcast. So if you guys want to listen to it, it's called Inquiries of Our Reality. But I interviewed him, and he's been an experiencer of sleep paralysis almost all his life. And I think yeah, but for him, it's more because of his astral travels.
Oh.
He does astral traveling, yeah, which is really interesting. And it's very interesting that he says it too, because Shane's a very logical, you know, research-oriented human, you know, and the way he talks about it, you can tell like he's still weirded out about all these experiences.
Did he say is it like hand-in-hand sleep paralysis and that? It's kind of like you got to go into like in sleep paralysis, and then you're able to.
He said that like when he has sleep paralysis, it confirms that he was traveling.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
he's like going, again, maybe like another dimension, like another realm. While he's doing that. So yeah.
What is that like that movie? What is it? Insidious, or is it The Further?
I don't know I don't know about The Further, but Insidious, I guess it would be something like that, I guess, because
like
they
the
do
guy,
travel.
like the kid, like
oh yeah, that is The Further.
Yeah.
Okay, from the movie.
The red door, the place with the red door, right?
Yeah, they call it The Further, where he's walking around and like almost like in a mist and a darkness, and
I've never seen the movie.
He can see himself.
Oh,
that's exactly how I imagine what is around us, like how they can see you and stuff like that. Like I think that movie is so on point.
Yeah. We talked about
it's a good movie.
I don't remember. Maybe I did.
You gotta watch it, Joy.
Joy, you've seen this movie.
I don't watch very many movies. I don't fall asleep.
She forgets.
Or I forget. Yeah.
She forgets. Sleep paralysis during the movie.
Yeah.
That would be fucking terrible.
Like this.
She wake up and see that nun lady or where the hell is that other demon.
You got
red face.
God, the red face.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Deborah, I suggest you get a bigger drink container.
Oh, you want me to get
my container last time.
I'm gonna carry it though. This is as much as I can carry.
That shit is heavy.
At least
Start walking around with a book bag and a little hose from the book bag.
There you go.
Oh, it's a 32 ounce. Sorry, it's a 32.
That's a 32 ounce?
Wait,
it looks bigger.
Trust me, it's a 64.
That has to be bigger.
It probably just looks bigger.
It looks just like my black one.
Unless you're little, are you short and tight? Are you short?
Shit is a fucking 64.
I'm 5'1".
Okay, so maybe.
This
is a 32 ounce, guys.
No, that thing like
Oh no, then yeah, sorry.
This is 32. I just checked.
That thing looks like if you hit me in the head with it,
that's a weapon.
Sleep paralyzing right now.
I'll be sleep paralyzing after you hit me in the head with that thing.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
we always lived in Miami. I've never experienced anything UFO like. Pretty sure you haven't. But I always, when I was little, I kind of always looked out for them.
Yeah,
like, I was always like, I want to see, or yeah, let's go look. And me and my friends, we would look outside or whatever. But I don't know if everybody does that now. Looking back, like I remember some people were like not interested at all, and then others like me were like super interested. So I don't know if that has anything to do with maybe like your aura, where you're more attracted to that.
Does it happen like at certain times of the days?
It happens all
at night.
All the time? Okay, all the time.
It happens. I mean, it's mostly at night. I notice mostly at night because of the lights. Like the lights are like the tell sign.
Right.
But in the my God, there have been times where we've seen. My husband saw it too. We were in the playground and we saw like this metal disc situation that like zoomed by. It was really weird, but it wasn't an airplane. So like it does happen at all times, but I'm only really remember the night ones. Deborah, do you sense other things such as people after the experience you had? Other things such as people? What does that mean? Like spirits? Because I've had many encounters with spirits too, especially late.
Maybe spirits. Yeah, maybe spirits.
I think he's referring to like, yeah, do you sense it like other stuff? Apparitions, yeah.
So I've come into quite an awakening of sorts not too long ago. I've been on the spiritual journey sort of situation for the last 8 years of my life, because part of my story is that I was a non-believer. Like I was a huge skeptic, but like to the point of like non-believer. I was an atheist, so I didn't believe in anything. And it changed when my father passed away. So when my father passed away, I felt him come to me the night that he passed. And that to me was really weird because I had never felt that before. Like, I don't know if any of you have ever woken up like in fear for a loved one's life, but that's how I woke up. And it to me like startled me because I was like, why am I so concerned like all of a sudden about my father's life?
Right.
And as somebody now, like fast forward to me now, if I wake up feeling that way, I know what's up. But like back then, because I didn't believe in anything, to me it was just like, I was just like, why is this happening? So I kind of chucked it off to like some sort of like psychological manifestation of fear or worry for his health, because you know he was older. My father at the time was 71 years old, and so he was older and he was like a drinker and he was having some heart issues. So I was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just scared. You understand? And I didn't think anything of it. And I went back to sleep. But then I got a call 2 hours later telling me that they had found him dead in his apartment, like where he was living. And so that to me was probably what triggered my whole journey to what I do now. Because it didn't make sense to me. Like I was just like, what does this mean? So I started just really kind of like, I said, okay, well, maybe something does exist. Maybe I'm going to open myself up to this and see where it takes me. And so it took a while, but soon after that, some other things happened. Like I moved to the Dominican Republic. I was in the Dominican Republic for 3 years. I was doing field work because I was in a PhD program at the time. So I was doing field work for my dissertation, and things didn't go right. I started to feel things in the Dominican Republic that I had never felt before. Things started happening to me. That's where I met my husband. And I also had a friend who at the time was starting to experience medium abilities. And I think the thing that really sold me just was like, I was like feeling like intuitive clicks and like having these like feelings and stuff like that I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. I was like reading up on like spirituality and tarot and like all these energies and all that stuff, whatever. But what really sold it to me was when my friend, who we had been friends since we went to Miami-Dade College together. So I met her my first semester of college, and we became friends in the first semester of college. But then we separated. We didn't really know about each other for a while. We met again at Barry University because I went to Barry for my bachelor's. And then again, it was one of those things where we met again, and we were like, hey, okay, and separated again. And then we didn't really talk. So she was a friend, but she wasn't like a best friend or like we hung out all the time. So she didn't know a lot about me. But one of the things that happened was like we started becoming closer around that time. She was having issues too. Like I had just lost my father. I was having issues with an ex of mine, and she started having issues with an ex of hers. And we started just like, misery loves company. So we just started like, oh my God, like all this stuff is happening. But she was still in the United States. She was in Miami. And I was in the Dominican Republic. Well, anyway, long story short, she started having these medium abilities. And she's like, your father's coming through. And I was like, okay. I was like, sure. And I was like, okay, well, tell me. And she started saying some things, maybe like something about my half brothers and sisters in Cuba. She said a few other things that I really can't remember because like for me, like the point of no return was she was like, what does the number 236 mean? And I think my heart stopped. Like I dropped everything. Like I was just like, how does she know this? And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, the 236. He's showing me 236, 236. And I was like, that's the time that I got the call to tell me that my father had died. And she was like,
that's wild.
And I was just like, okay. And I think that at that point, I think I was just like, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm going to do this. Like, we're going to go into food. I don't know how she knew that. Like, and the way that she described my dad and stuff, and like the things that came up for her, and I was like, how the hell? And that's when like I haven't turned back.
It was almost like that was what you needed. Yeah, it was like you needed that push. Yeah.
Well, I've learned since then that my father made sure that I didn't commit the same mistake that he did. Like he was an atheist. He didn't believe in anything. He died an atheist. And he came to me and was like, yo, baby girl, don't do that. Don't go down that path. And so he really helped me kind of come into where I am now. Like I really attribute a lot of who I am now and what I do now to him.
That experience that you had, right? Mm-hmm. And it's awesome because that's your final experience with him was him still walking you down the right path. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a special moment that you're gonna carry with you the rest of your life.
Oh, for sure.
And to me, it's cool when some people like say. I mean, at that time, maybe you weren't into like the paranormal stuff like that, but because of what your beliefs were, like. You were able to have somebody come back to you who had passed and to prove to you like there's more out there.
Yeah.
Or something, something else. And like not a lot of people get to experience that, but when you do, I find it to be like freaking mind blown,
Do you still talk to her?
Not really. I did get in contact with him about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
He came to me because he was not about coming forward. I think I had felt him when I started doing tarot and I got some readings and like he came through the tarot, like energy. Yeah. But like as far as like me feeling him the way that I did when he passed, it wasn't until about a week ago.
Oh.
Because I've been opening up. So like now I'm like a full-blown witch. And so what am I gonna do? This is the path that I'm on now.
This is my path.
But I've chosen it. So yeah, I'm really excited about like a lot of the stuff that I've been experiencing and I really hope to really help people with it. So that's my goal.
Awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
So I know you said so you came into your abilities like around that same time as like maybe your friend did, or do you Do you figure like okay, so what abilities do you have? Let's start from there.
So it's when I started all this, it was just like, you know what most of us have, we're intuitive, right? But I was getting hints of other things along my path, and I just didn't realize that that's what was happening. So so for instance, I mean, when I met my husband, one of the weirdest things happened. Time stopped. Like, I literally, I was in the car. It's a crazy story. I was in the car. Oh my God. Like, when I think about it, I'm like, what am I doing? I was in the car with my husband now and my ex in the back seat. And I remember it was a very stressful and very dramatic time in my life because my ex and I had broken up about literally 2 weeks before I met my husband. And so 2 weeks before I met my husband, I had just broken up with my ex, and he left from the Dominican Republic because he was living with me. He went back to Miami. 2 weeks later, oh my God, this probably sounds crazy. I met my husband via Uber. He was my Uber driver. And I remember we just started, like, I didn't want to like see him, but something really drew me to him. Like, it was just a pool. Mm-hmm. So we knew each other for about a week, and then after a week, I just decided to start dating him. Because I remember telling him, being like, I just broke up with somebody and I had been with this guy for 3 years, and I was like, I just broke up with somebody 2 weeks ago. Like, I'm not gonna get into a relationship. Yeah, that didn't happen. So anyway, the point is, I'm now this guy. I'm dating this guy, and my ex surprises me in the Dominican Republic.
Awkward.
Hell no.
To me. Girls, because girls. Like, I don't even know what to say. But anyway, the point is that he came to propose to me. Oh my God. And I was in the car with these two men, like my past and my potential future. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I was freaking out. Like, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, what do I do? And I had the most obvious signs in the universe at that time. And everything around me got cloudy, like opaque. And the only thing I can see, and it's like everything slowed down. Like it like the movies, like everything just like slows down. It was exactly like that because we were in the car. Everything just slowed down. Time like slowed down. And the only thing I could see around me in this white bubble was me and my husband, like now husband. There was nothing else.
So it was like it was telling you.
Yeah. Exactly. And at that point, I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm going with him. Like, I was just this can't be more obvious than what it is now. Right. And so we've been together now 8 years, and we just made our 7-year anniversary of marriage. So
happy anniversary.
I chose that. Thank you. So that went well. But I had like something like that happen. I felt, oh my God. I shook somebody's hand once. And when I shook his hand, I remember like I shook his hand, and when we came out, I did like this to my hand, like something was on my hand. And I said, that's weird. Like, it felt like a very icky, heavy,
like baboso?
That's gross.
Not baboso, because it wasn't slimy.
You just felt like a residue. Like,
it was like a very weird energy on my hand. And I told my husband, and I was just like, that felt weird. He felt weird. Like, I got a really weird sensation from shaking his hand. And we found out 3 days later that he killed himself. 3 days later. And I was like, and then my husband told me, he's like, you felt it. You felt what he was feeling. And I was just like, it was icky. And he was like, he was probably feeling icky. And I was just like, he's like, you felt his death. And I was just like,
oh my shit. God, what a way to put it, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, like you felt his energy.
crazy.
Wow.
So I felt that I've gone through people, like I've passed through people, like some certain individuals, and I'll feel like my heart drop or like a really strong sensation in my abdomen. And of course, at the time, I just didn't know what all these things meant. And I've also seen shadow figures. So bunch of shadow figures. One shadow figure one time was really impressive. I was with my husband in the Dominican Republic. We were living at the time at his mom's house because we were trying to come back to the United States. And so, oh my God, I saw his heart glowing. Not his heart, but like his heart center. So like what you would consider a heart chakra. So I saw it glowing green. And that weirded me out because I was like, what is that? I was like, why are you glowing? And he was just like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, look, you're fucking glowing. And he
swallowed a gold stick.
Yeah.
He's like a Care Bear.
Yeah, yes.
You're glowing. And he just didn't understand because he didn't see it. And so I would move to different parts of the room because I was like, maybe the light is shining on him. And like I was just like I moved him to a few parts of the room just to make sure that like it wasn't a light, like reflection of light. And it wasn't, like it just didn't stop. And I was just like, okay. Well, and that same night, we're laying down on the bed and I see this black figure at the edge of the bed. And I'm like, there's a black figure here. He was just like, okay. And I was just like, okay. And then I saw the figure move up on top of me. And then I think it moves around again. And I was like, turn on the light. And he turns on the light. And I'm like, there was a black figure here. And he was just like, oh, no, you don't have to worry about it. That's just a lady that protects me. And I was just like, what? I was like, what? And when I said, like, when we were saying that, something went and just like tapped and like my hair went up. And I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, what is touching me? So God. I've had all these experiences. And so I just didn't understand what they were. And now recently I've come into the ability to channel. Hey, so now I'm I channel individual, so I can do like medium readings. And I can my tarot readings are more on point now. Like they're just like way more specific because I'm getting information in a way that I had never gotten before. Which is why, now like I've been offering lately free medium readings for anybody who wants it, because I want to be able to sort of develop these skills a little bit more, because it's just coming. And I'm just like, okay, let's foster this. And then I've been getting into spell work, which is interesting because I would have never, like, I need you guys to understand that had you spoken to me 9 years ago, just the fact that I say witch and spell work, I would have looked at you like you were psychos, like you were just fucking crazy. And now I'm talking like this, and I'm like, okay, like, wow. And so now I'm understanding like a lot more things, and what I do. And now spellcraft, people are like, oh, spells. If you really go into the occult and if you really study a lot of these concepts and the paranormal and everything, then you're going to understand that your intention and your thoughts and your words are the most powerful things that you have. So when it comes to spell work, just 9 years ago, buddy, just 9 years ago. So, it hasn't been my whole life. It's not like I can say I've been a practicing, witch or whatever for my whole life, because I haven't. And I'd be a liar if I said that. But it doesn't mean that I'm not coming into some pretty cool abilities. And if anybody wants to test them now, we could.
Could you pick up something from one of us? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't want to put you on the spot. Okay.
No, that's okay. That's fine. I'm a little nervous, obviously, because I don't.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna be staring at you like this. We're just gonna be like this.
I'm gonna, yeah. Since he re-asked it now, so Jesse,
happened?
somebody who's
yeah.
on the chat, he said,
Where's that? Oh,
I'm trying to look for it up here.
Oh, yeah. It's up.
Okay. I'll let you read that.
Joy, and a few on here know my story too, so don't freak out. And this isn't bullshit, but I see my daughter standing next to you. Joy, next to her. And I won't say anything else. I'm curious if you see her, just let her know. Okay, hold on.
His daughter, Jesse's daughter.
Jesse's daughter is here. Yes, hold on. Hold on. It's a little, so obviously she's young. 6 years old. Please confirm, because I'm getting this information. So I need you to confirm, because if not, then it's not, I don't know if I'm really helping.
I don't think she's 6 years old, but could she have come? Oh, maybe.
He just said yes.
Yes, maybe.
She's not.
Okay, so 6 years old.
Oh wait, no. Now he says 21.
Yeah, no, she's older than
Not
6.
6.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, but can she come back younger?
Yes. Is she? What? She can come back younger?
I believe that.
Hold on. So let me get more information. Hold on. So this is Jesse's daughter. Am I speaking to Jesse's daughter? Okay. 6 years old. Is there a significance with 6? Something happened when you were 6. Did something happen when she was 6 years old?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see if he writes.
Sick? No.
I don't know. I don't know how long ago she passed, or maybe she passed away.
It's not,
I don't know what year she passed. Maybe she passed away 6 years.
Hold on. Is it about your passing? No.
Oh,
something significant at 6 years old.
Last time I saw her was 6 years ago. Is that what I'm getting? Is that correct?
6 years ago. Is it 6 years? 6
so that's
years
what I was
ago.
Thinking.
Yeah. Okay, so it was significant 60. Okay, so I got the number 6. 6 years ago. Okay, so do you want to say anything? No. Did she pass? Did you? Okay, how did you pass? Can I know? Yes. Don't tell me, Jesse. Okay. Can you tell me how you passed? I'm not getting anything. Try again. Okay. Car. No. Was it a vehicle? Yes. Was it in a vehicle accident? No. What? Something with a vehicle?
Do you want me to confirm or deny for you?
Confirm or deny.
No. You want me to tell you yes or no?
No, yeah. Tell me if it's something to do with.
Yeah, it's vehicle related. Yeah.
But it wasn't an accident. No. And what the hell can it be with a vehicle? Poisoning. No. So it's not poisoning. It's not an accident. Hit and run? That would be an accident. Hit and run?
What is that noise?
So I'm practicing, guys. Is it a hit and run? No. So then what would it, huh?
So he's saying he was
car wreck. Well, it was an accident. Car wreck. That's an accident. Wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a story behind that.
Oh. That's probably why she's like, oh. Was it her fault? Was it your fault? No. Was it driving, drinking? No. Was there an argument? No. I'm not understanding. It's coming in very like pieced together. Okay.
I'm not sure. Jesse put yes and no, but I don't know exactly what he's confirming.
Yeah. So she's here. Let me see. Can you give me the first letter of your name or your name? It's not J. Close. K. L. Did her name start with an L?
Shit, I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Her name start with an L.
Okay, let's see if I can.
L.
I'm waiting to see like if he writes it on here. Did it?
Yeah. Huh?
He hasn't wrote the name of the daughter yet.
Okay. That's fine.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. So nervous? A little bit. Okay. There's a little bit of nerves here. Like I'm swaying back and forth. I don't know if you see it. Huh? Interesting. So that's what I'm getting. I'm not getting much else. I don't know. Something was in her mouth at the time. She put something over her face to keep herself from speaking or breathing.
So Michael is also a psychic medium.
Yeah.
And Michael is partly right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was asphyxiation. When somebody covering her mouth, this isn't really normal to me. It seems like contrived or thought. Interesting. That's really cool. So I don't know. I don't know if her name started with an L, but that's no. Okay, thank you. All right. I'm not getting too much. And again, I'm just starting off with these things. So that's why
but you did good. You did really good, though. I mean, you picked up stuff, and you don't even know.
No, I don't know anything.
So.
I feel nervous. Like I not nervous, just like a little, yeah, not like anxious, but just there's a lot of swaying back and forth. It's almost like almost like nervous, like shy, nervous.
Yeah, Jesse, do you want to type why? There's this. So how you're feeling is probably how she felt leading up to her last moments.
Somewhat.
So you're
Tell us why you think she cannot come through, Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. No, so she's not afraid. Okay.
So he's saying like why he thinks she cannot come through is because
she's batting mango. Nothing was left of her. Probably why it's not coming through. Oh my god. Yes. Yeah, it just feels like a lot of back and forth movement.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means, like it's actually the first time I feel that. So she might be traumatized. There's trauma. What is it? Okay, go get it.
But you did really good. I think you did amazing.
Well, again, I'm like trying to but I see her hole right next to you is freaky. Well, then that only.
I have a question. Does he see it next to Deborah or next to Joy?
I think Deborah.
I don't think because he was
saying that I know the story. He was saying that I know the story. Me and a few people know the story, but I think he sees it next to you.
What I see is like energy around Deborah. I don't see it anymore, actually. So what I think what Jessie, or I mean, that could have been her, because like before, the whole time when she started or whatever, like it's almost like I can see an aura around her. Okay, so it is Deborah. So I was right. I was saying that. So but ever since now that you started reading her, that completely left. Like I don't see that around you anymore. But the whole time since the beginning of the show, like I can see it around you.
I want to see stuff. Come on. Give me some powers. It's like that's really, I love this stuff. I think it's so fucking cool.
It
like,
is
I don't
really.
See it. I've been trying to look at it, and I can't see it anymore.
And I was a skeptic for a long time, you guys, like with psychics and stuff. But the more I'm talking to people with abilities, I'm like, damn.
And it is really interesting. And I think one of the things that we don't understand about abilities is that we can foster our abilities by connecting with our guides. And this is also a concept that people think it's very woo-woo or very like, oh my God, you know, like whatnot. But like, and again, I've been there and done that, which is why I have my page. Hearts. This is why I have my page. She's smiling, Deborah. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh my God, that's in my heart. I'm trying. Like, hopefully, I get better. But like, it's. I know energy comes in.
Really?
If you want to see things, you have to do drugs.
What kind of drugs, Michael?
That was obviously. You need an ayahuasca retreat.
Do I need to take the acid or what?
Six was when my mom and I got divorced. And she said, and I will always be dead, so sex is important. Yay, I got it. So much for that. Oh my God, that confirms so much for me, even.
Flonase. For me.
Yeah.
The drug. I guess apparently I need to take more Flonase to see stuff. If I want abilities.
Clear up that chakra.
Right.
So yeah, and I mean, I'm just really happy that that happened and I was able to confirm something and like somebody was able to confirm with me, because I'm still in the process where like I'm coming to terms with like these abilities and like practicing and trying to see. You have no idea what this means to me.
Shrooms, baby. Okay. Let me know where to get some. I don't want the wild ones.
It's for our pasta.
You can't hear anything. You didn't hear what I'm talking about, babe.
Joey's like, I don't know what the hell you talking about.
He's like, la 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 la.
Yeah. I'm in one of those states. What is it? Frozen ones.
What?
What's that?
Yes, to put all the shrooms on.
What's that? What is it?
What?
What you guys are talking about? Where you're like stuck?
Where you sleep
sleep
paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. I'm in awake paralysis.
Oh my God. Tell me.
Yeah. No, I don't want that kind of shrooms.
Well, that's where they come from, girl.
Yeah,
no.
I'll
have your kids or what have your daughter like experience of told you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So my daughter, when she was younger, so she was about 2 years old, I would bathe her, I would take her out of the bath, and then I'd put her on the bed and like, get her dressed and all of that. And then one time she's like, Mommy, I see colors. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, that's cool. And I was like, let me know if you see them again. And then she would. And since she was 2, she has at least monthly seen colors around her. She still sees them to this day. So she sees colors. Not too long ago, she said, Mom, somebody's here. They want to speak to you. And I was just like, okay. And so I was able to connect to one of her guides.
Oh shit.
So that was really cool. Her guide wanted to speak to me.
So like when
So
she sees colors, is it like an aura? Do you think she could see like people's auras?
No, she sees it's a batch of colors that come in. She says it's different colors. She always names them purple, pink, blue, and green, like or yellow sometimes orange. I think. She says that they come in and they're like small and circle there, and like they're always around her. And like one time,
like an orb,
like these colored orbs. And like one time, I wonder if they like listen to her. And I told her, why don't you ask the orbs to come to you? And she's like, orbs, can you, or like colors. She said, colors, can you please come to me? And then in an instant, she started laughing and giggling. She's like, oh my God, Mommy, they're on me. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was just like,
you were able to manipulate them.
Yeah, because you can, like, you can manipulate certain beings, especially if like they're like your guides, like in a sense, not actually manipulate, but you can ask them.
I'm just shocked at such an early age is what I was meaning.
That would be.
Yeah,
she's gonna be very gifted. She's heard things before. The other day, she's like, Mom, I heard. What did she say? I heard singing. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, I heard singing. And I was like, because I was right next to her. And I was like, well, what did you hear? And she goes, it sounded like, ah. Like, so like I was like,
wow.
And I was able to confirm that was an angel for her.
Angelic.
She heard it. Yeah, she heard her angel. So but she doesn't understand it. I also, so it's very important that I don't encourage her. Like, I'm not like, oh yeah, do that again. Or, good job. Like, it should be more like, well, more curious, like acknowledge what she's doing and like ask her how she feels. If she wants to do it again, she can. Good job. But I don't try to like tell her like, oh, this is all the stuff that exists and this is what you have to believe in. Like, not like that at all. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, that's cool. She sees me doing a few things and she'll be like, Mommy, are you done with your spell? And I was like, I'm like, yeah. Just like, yeah. Like, it's really interesting, like how, so like I try to be like, yeah. She asked me like why a few things like are around the house, and I'm like, oh, that's for protection. But like I don't like try to tell her to do certain things. The only thing that I do try to do and make sure is that she's protected. But and if she becomes curious and asks me questions, like I answer.
Yeah, let her kind of find her own style and yeah. That's really cool.
I definitely don't want to be like a lot of parents out there that like make their child be a certain way because they're that way.
Yeah. Or this is how it's supposed to be. This is the way it is. Yeah.
I don't want to do it because I didn't have that. Like my parents weren't like that with me, and I think that it was able to help me kind of figure out my own way.
Right. There's no rules. There's no one way of doing things. So I think that's cool. Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying. She's good.
How old is she?
4. She'll be 5 in December, but she's 4. Yeah.
So, did you recently move out of Miami, or how long ago was it that you moved out of Miami itself?
So I guess technically I moved out. I came back to Miami 2018, and then I moved out again 2018. So I haven't been in Miami living since 2018.
Okay.
Did you see this one from Jesse? He said, thank you. I don't know if thank you.
Thank you. A dark hole was filled with light. I am grateful.
Yeah. And then Michael, who was also a psychic medium, he wants to reach out to you, but we'll ask for your stuff after.
Yeah. And if Jesse whoever wants to contact me, they can DM me on Instagram or email me, and we can talk, because I'm like at this point I'm trying to connect with people and trying to help people. I'm doing it for free. The only thing I'm not doing for free is spell, because that I think I'm getting good at. So I want to that I'll charge, but the spell work is cool because it's going to help people with like healing, with protection, with wealth, abundance, you know, all that stuff that we need, you know, protection for a business and stuff like that. And, you know, why not? I feel like there's all these witches out there and like people who say that they do all this stuff, but very few people actually offer like specific spells and rituals for people, because one of the things about it, people think that, oh, you can go online and find this ritual and it's going to help you get this money. And it doesn't work that way, because every ritual, every spell is specific to the person that needs it. Right. It doesn't matter. So like, there's obviously some general rules, but when it comes to you, let's say right now, Joey, you want to get a new job, right? We're going to get you a ritual for you to get a new job. But that ritual is specific to you and only to you. It's not going to work for, you know, Joy. You understand? Like, it's not. Yeah. It's just not
like a universal type thing. Yeah.
No. So, and that's what a lot of people have a misconception. They go online and they like look for spells and shit, and things don't go right, or they call in certain deities and like things like, and it's because they don't understand that your specific request is through your guides, and it has to be guided and specific to you. Right. So people are out there doing some stupid things. I had some girl, not for spell work, but for an attachment, a spirit attachment, because I also do spell work for spirit attachments and demons, because they exist. Something that I learned that I didn't really understand, but now I know. She was doing a game. She said that she was doing a game called Cat Scratch, which I have never heard of before. So she reached out to me on TikTok. Never heard of it either. She feels she's a younger person. So this Gen Z situation, like, I don't know what they're doing, but like they
Tide Pods.
Tide Pods. Oh my God.
She came to me. She came to me and she was like, I think I need your help. Can you help me? And like, again, like right now I'm just kind of like coming through this, and I was like, all right, well, tell me what's up. And she's like, I did this game with my friends, but ever since I did this game, I've had a bunch of cats showing up in my house. And I was like, what? And I was just like, yes. And I was like, well, what game? She's like, well, one of the games, she's like, we did a bunch of games, but one of the games was called the Cat Scratch game. So I had to look this up. I was like, Cat Scratch. And I found a WikiHow on it. And I was like, what? There's a WikiHow on this game? Like, what is going on? So I look at this game, and apparently what you do is you essentially lay in a circle, and you have somebody lay down, and I think you put your hands on their like temples or their head, and you start telling stories, scary stories. And sometimes these stories are very like, some of these stories I think they may get from the internet, and they're very specific, and they may have other intentions. Some of these stories I think they say on their own, and sometimes they call entities to them. And I don't know what she did specifically, but I can tell you that when I connected, you know, and I started to channel, it was bad. I was like, what did you do? And she was like, we just played this game. And I was like, girl, she was like, I was like, you're gonna need some real deep work. She needs 5 weeks of work just to be able to remove a demon actually from her. And her friend came to me too, and I had to help her friend. And she told, and then the original girl was like, I have scratches on my back. And I was like, she's like, oh, but I thought that it was from the forest. And I was like, no, baby girl, it wasn't. Like, that's not from the forest. That wasn't from your forest. I was like, what ended up happening was that you all played a game. You essentially did a ritual, which without you girls knowing, or guys and girls knowing, without you girls and guys knowing, you essentially did a ritual, and you were the focal point because she was the one who was laying down. I was like, they targeted you because you were the most vulnerable one. Right. And she like hit, you know? So now I gave her all these instructions, basically a spell, basically a ritual for her to be able to remove and protect herself from this entity. And I have to check in on her to see if, you know, it's going well, because that's the other thing. I can give you this stuff, but if you don't believe in it, and if you don't set the intention, and if you're not consistent, it's not going to work. So like,
Right.
you know, like I can help you. I can try to guide you if you have questions.
Yeah.
But I can do it for you.
It's crazy that you mentioned cat scratch, because it's not even kidding. Like a week ago, I was just reading an article about somebody dying or almost dying from a cat scratch.
Yeah, because of the bacteria that develops.
And then you talk about this game, I'm like, damn, deja vu or what?
Yeah.
But it's totally different, you know.
Different things. But what people don't understand about cats is that cats are like humans in the sense that everybody's like, oh, cats are protectors of like the spirit realm, and like yeah, sure, they can be, but cats are also like, they can be associated with the darker stuff too, just like humans are. You understand? Like they have their own light and vibrations, and so the fact that all these entities, these cats, were drawn to her home, I'm like, they're not drawn to anything positive. It's not positive. They're not there to protect you.
Crazy.
You understand? That they're there for other reasons. Like you played the cat scratch game. You understand? Like that's
surprising. Fuck around to find out game.
I've never heard of that game. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Neither do I, and I'm sure that I'm finding out some.
Is it like a?
There's so much. And then what did she find that on TikTok?
I don't know. I didn't ask where the source of it was. Like these like the younger generation is very interesting, because Gen Z is very spiritual, which is great, but they're stupid in the sense that like they don't really, they're following a lot of trends and stuff online, and a lot of these people online don't know what they're talking about. It's all like stuff that they take from other people and they just repeat and like regurgitate, and nobody really sits down to do the work. So what ends up happening is that people, hold on, mommy, people are doing these things and saying this stuff, but nobody's really like understanding the consequences that come with these actions. So and, you know, it's hard because then like, us are competing with all those people.
I think because, you know, like
the expression play stupid games.
Yeah, when super prizes.
I just think you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I think it's just fun because when I was a kid, I played all those stupid games too. You know what I mean? I didn't. Like, it's just fun.
Most I did was light as a feather, stiff as a board because of
I was just thinking about that. I was like, that's
yeah, we did all that.
That was the most we did. Oh, and Bloody Mary, which I don't even think I ever finished because we were too scared. Because I was like, nah.
Yeah, but I think they do it because it's the thrill of being scared and spooked, you know.
Yeah.
But you're right. You got to be careful because sometimes you're doing something you have no idea.
Yeah.
What the hell to do?
Yeah, I played a game like that once. It was called 𝗟𝗓𝗀𝘃.
What is that?
How does that one go?
You said, what's that? I'm not even
𝗟𝗃𝗀𝘃 was I would fuck around and my mom would beat me with a belt.
𝗟𝗓𝗃𝗀𝗃. I understand that now. Yeah, they knew. I feel like what is it? The boomers were a little bit more like aware of this stuff and believers, and then, you know, as things have gone, but a lot of it gets lost in translation, and people's, you know, society has a big impact, which is one of the reasons why I do like what I do, because like the whole point is to destigmatize the paranormal, understand that this stuff exists, that it's not crazy, that, you know, these things are real. We just don't understand it, and instead of being afraid of it, maybe we should be a little bit more curious, but just do so with caution, because obviously bad things do exist. So it's just a little bit more of like an educational approach to like the paranormal, and having people better understand, and then like helping people with their experiences, because oftentimes people have experiences and they just don't understand what's happening or what it means. And again, different experience, different person, different meaning and everything. And so helping people get to the bottom of that, or like helping them feel supported and like they're not crazy, I think is very important, because a lot of us are still feeling some of the judgment or the fear of judgment, or like the stigma from society, because unfortunately, even though us right now are like a nice little paranormal community and everybody supports each other, outside of that community there's a lot of prejudice and there's a lot of like negative talk and misconceptions about all
I
stuff.
think within the community too, there's a lot of that as well.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, and then that's another thing too. And it kind of peeves me. I'm like, how can you say you believe in the paranormal, but don't believe in mediums and witches, or don't believe in like, you know, aliens, or like there's just different things, and like it's hypocritical, because I'm like, if it's paranormal, it hits the whole spectrum. Yeah, you understand? It's psi abilities, ghosts, it's aliens, it's cryptids, it's near-death experiences, reincarnation. Like you can't cherry pick the paranormal and be like, yeah, this exists, but then this doesn't exist, because then to me that's just going, like, that indicates to me that you are not sure what you believe in.
Very opinionated. Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it.
Right,
they're very professional, you know.
I went to school.
No,
she's not talking about you.
No,
I was like, I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought you were saying that I made that very diplomatic. I was like, well, I went to school. But
you did do a lot of school, because I mean, Barry is a extinguished university like down here. So
I was lucky to get
I
was really lucky to get in and I got a scholarship.
What were you going to school for?
I did environmental science at Barry University when they had environmental science. Nice. They don't have that anymore, but I did environmental science at the time, and I got a scholarship because I was probably one of the only people in the school studying it. And then I went on my PhD. I skipped my master. Well, now I have a master's, but what I did was I went straight from the bachelor's track to the PhD track. Like I didn't try to do a master's track. And then I went to for my PhD. And then I ended up not finishing my PhD because of everything that happened in my life. And so now I have a master's from UN. We have ecosystem science and policy.
Nice.
Which
my cousin
I do nothing with. I do nothing with it. This is what I do with my master's degree.
That's okay though. That's okay. You have it. You did it. You've done it. You know, you're finished. That's okay.
I was supposed to go to Barry for pharmaceutical, but
oh yeah, they have a good one there.
I was like,
you wanted to go be a pharmacist?
I didn't want to be a pharmacist. My dad wanted me to be a pharmacist.
That's a lot of math, isn't it?
Be a nurse, huh?
It's a lot of math to be a pharmacist, right? You got to be good at math.
And I fucking suck at math.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Wow.
I tanked all my years of doing college shit and whatever. Mm-hmm. I literally stopped because I was like,
yeah.
And here I am.
It happens to the best of us, guys. We're here now.
Calculators, everything's calculator now. You know, long form math.
Yeah, but at that time, back then, when I was going to school for that, literally it was only Barry. It was the only place I could have went for that at that time. That was at like 99 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now there's like whatever. There's a whole bunch of shit. Amazon Prime at your door, Joy. I don't know why he said that.
Oh my god.
Oh, you guys
probably.
Shroom gummies. Is there shroom gummies? I want some of that.
Yeah, that's probably my pre-workout that I delivered.
Did you actually have Amazon going to your door?
We've been having Amazon come to our door all day long.
I think so.
They keep coming in different deliveries.
I'm like, what's delivering the Prime days.
Yeah, we got some Prime days on this table right next to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Is your daughter still bothering you?
She's now occupied in the bathroom. She's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm like,
did she call you into like whatever? But my kid still does that.
Yeah, no. Yeah. She in there for a while because she likes to use the iPad in the bathroom. Like she sees like her dad using the phone in the bathroom, so like she takes the iPad. She just. That's fine.
She's thinking.
Our grandbaby does that too, and I'm like, don't touch it after you wipe.
Yeah, everything's good until you wipe, which she still doesn't want. So, which I'm fine.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
Girls is like it. Deborah, thank you again so much. Yeah. Does anybody have questions for me? Like, does anybody in the chat have any questions, or like I'll answer questions if they want, or if any of you have questions.
I know Michael wanted to reach out to you, so I'll pass your information if that's okay to him.
Oh well, Deborah, why don't we do that? Why don't you tell the good folks where they can find you at, so that way, if they don't want to type it up, they maybe want to hit you up privately. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm mostly active. The most active I am right now is on Instagram. So my handle on Instagram is Paranormal Paradigma. You can also find me on TikTok.
Thank you, for dropping the link.
Link is also
in the hey, thanks. So yeah, that is me right now. I'm still working. So I see it's my link tree. I'll be doing a live tonight, 9:30. If y'all can stop by, okay, I'll check it out. So I have Paranormal Paradigma. It's my Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. I'm a little more active also on TikTok. And I have a Facebook page and a Facebook group, but that I'm not sure if I'm going to continue, just because I'm going now on a YouTube route. So hopefully I'll be less active on Instagram and TikTok and be more active on YouTube. And so that'll switch. But if you want to get in touch with me, definitely DM me on those two platforms, or you can email me in my link tree. There's an email option too.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome. I did put Deborah's link in the description box. I have to do update with what you sent me to put it on there, just to have it like.
Okay.
Look nice, yes.
I know we have
I did not get to do that yesterday or today. It's just been.
We have a Coast to Coast Facebook that is just.
I don't even have access to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, let's do a Facebook.
Facebook is weird. Facebook has a bunch of weirdos on it and like scammers. And a lot of the older generations on Facebook. So like I'm not like opposed to it, but it's definitely not my favorite. And I'm less active on it just because of that. And then if anybody wants to check out the website, right now I'm still updating some stuff. I'm at the moment only offering, because I do, by the way, I do group sessions. So what I do is I try to like get a group of people that, come together and talk about their paranormal experiences at least once a month. Hopefully that'll pick up to twice a month. And those are free. So people can just come in and like talk about their experiences and try to get questions answered and try to figure out like why they're having these experiences or what these experiences are. And then I can help them through that. And then like the spell work and stuff, I haven't updated on my stuff yet because it's so new and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it and, all that stuff. But that'll be up soon too. And then, the YouTube. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, we loved having you on. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for.
Thank you, Deborah. Please stay with us. We're gonna end the stream soon, so that way we can take a picture. All right. So, Joey, where can the good folks find you at?
So all our links are right here under our name, Joy and Joey, and JJ.Paranormal on Instagram and here on YouTube.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Dantex. Thank you, chat. We appreciate you.
The whole damn chat.
Yes, thank you guys.
Dantex is doing the Lord's work, posting up everybody's links on the chat.
Limestone. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Well, for us, you can find us at 305 Paranormal on TikTok, on
links
YouTube, on IG. Links on the bio. You can find me at Mr. 305 Paranormal on IG. So I have bad news and I have good news for you guys. So the bad news is we won't be here next week.
No, I'm just kidding.
But the good news is we are not going to leave you guys alone. We have pre-recorded a show for you guys, and it'll play next Sunday, where we had our friends Joy and Joey go pay a visit to one of our past guests.
Yeah.
So how was just a little snippet? Where did you guys go?
We went to this place called
Abracadabra.
The house at the end of the drive. If you guys don't know who that is, that's David Oman. I'm sure a lot of us in the paranormal community know who he is, Mr. Oman. The fair. If you don't know, it's the Sharon Tate, Manson murders type stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but
Right.
yeah, pretty much. I think everybody knows who David Oman is.
Yeah.
And you may or may
Right.
not witness somebody's fanny being touched.
Oh.
To find
Muscle,
out.
it's probably a muscle spasm.
So I threw out a little reel of that, and when that happened to Joy, that was before we had hit live, because there was stuff going on before we hit live, and then we ended up starting a live because they were setting up.
Mhm.
So, what will air next week is when I finally hit record.
Yeah,
And then
a lot of good
when
stuff.
I go downstairs, like interesting.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just
very interesting for sure.
So we're not
Libya.
leaving you guys alone. We have an investigation for you to see next Sunday. Tune in at the regular time. It'll be recorded, ready to go for you guys to see.
Yes, and
we'll be
comment
back.
if you guys hear anything.
Oh my
Yeah,
God! There's
comment.
so many.
Ooh,
There's so many. There's EVPs. There's like
distant
Yeah.
bodies.
Yes, please comment and let
weird.
us know what you guys are hearing.
Yes, please.
Yes. And we'll be back the week after. And tune in so that way you can see who the guest is going to be that week. Okay? Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Deborah, thank you as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
Until then,
Yeah.
sayonara.
Peace.
All right,
Have a good
everybody
week,
going
everybody.
to Gettysburg. Have fun.
Yes, me.
Think
Yeah.
of us. We'll be here in California, just sitting here.
Sitting here waiting on us to
Waiting.
show up.